I thank JB Nagar CPA Study Circle convener CA Anil Sharma, Deputy Convener Pinky Puja, and of course Haridas Bhatt and all the core committee members who have given me an opportunity to be here, and also all of you for coming in large number. And the other topic that I am going to take is latest changes in the Cooperative Societies Act. As Ashish Shellarji said, in the year 2012, amendment has happened in the constitution, and the effect is that a lot of changes have happened in the Cooperative Societies Act in Maharashtra also. A lot of controversies, whether it is related to the preparation of panel, whether it is related to online registration of the society's information, and then of course related to the election, which has been the subject. And for the last 2 years, the entire cooperative sector has been taken for a task due to, of course, the amendments were good, but whatever the political scenario that has taken place or it was happening, so entire cooperative movement, there was no election, no policy decisions, nothing, and lot of issues, circumstances. So I think instead of having one-way dialogue, I open the house and let me take from you what are the questions that is bothering you, so that in my presentation of 1 hour, I'll try to cover up all your questions. Is it okay? Yeah. What are the controversies that is bothering you about the latest changes in the Act? That is especially in the election. What are the issues that is bothering you?
Will it be possible for the sector to organize election? 36,000 societies there.
Okay.
Can the department take up the job?
Okay. The first question is 36,000 only in Mumbai. We have 2,25,000 to 2,30,000 societies all over the Maharashtra. There is one election authority, and whether that movement is good or not, that we'll discuss. But then there is one election commissioner for entire state, and then there is a district election officers, and then taluka election officers. Who are they? What is the mechanism? How they are doing the election? That is one which is bothering you, and whether it is practical to handle about 2,30,000 total societies, out of which about 90,000 is cooperative housing societies. In Mumbai itself, we have about 36,000. If you take Thana and Navi Mumbai, the total works out to nearly 60,000 cooperative societies. Only in Thana, Navi Mumbai and Mumbai, housing societies alone. Okay, so that is one.
Second is the latest 20% reservation for economical backward section.
Yeah.
What is latest status?
Yeah. 20% reservation for the economically weaker sections. What is the latest status as far as redevelopment is concerned? Correct?
For
Not
larger societies.
for larger societies having more than 4,000 square meter. Okay. Any?
Most of the society now, nobody is ready to work in agriculture.
Correct. Yeah.
Nobody has time.
Correct.
They want, so there will not be any form filled up for the
Elections.
election itself.
Okay. No forms. Okay, fine. So who will come forward?
Undertakings by office bearers.
Yeah.
Undertakings.
Whether any undertaking is required, whether that M20 form, indemnity bond, whether it is still continuing or it has been done away with. The question, I am just asking a question, and so it is already done away, absolutely. 6 September 2012, the amendment took place, and in the new act, which came into effect on 14th February 2013, the new law came into effect on 14th February 2013. Since then, M20 is not required for any type of societies. Forget about housing societies. Even it was meant for all type of societies, big societies, banks and other things. But somehow or the other it came down to housing society also. Thereafter housing society was exempted, But when the new law was enacted, so that has been done away with. Now M20 or any type of undertaking is not required. Yeah.
Sir, say in Times of India, there were articles,
Yeah.
that
So you can take the mic.
Oh, okay. Minister said that society has to complete that election process by 31st of December.
Yeah.
2 days there were articles. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is it applicable to the society who has completed election as per the schedule? Like say in my society, we completed election in 2012. So now it is due after 5 years. So is it applicable to
So
my
whom the
society?
new law is applicable?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Whom the new law is applicable? Election. Especially election.
See, in the first year, in first meeting, whatever committee is appointed, and they have continued to the second year. So, is it that it takes the 5 years from the second year, or is it that committee itself is a void because now you are supposed to hold the election there?
So there was a committee for 1 year.
The committee society got formed in October 12.
Okay.
Thereafter, the first committee whoever was appointed in first AGM continued for till second year. So some members have come with an objection that they cannot continue in the very first year. At the end of the first year, they should have appointed held the election. But now, as per new rules, the election needs to be held whatever new procedure is. So, is it right or the existing committee can continue to third year?
Yeah. So whether the provisional committee can continue even after expiry of 1 year. Yeah, just 1 minute. Let him complete. Yeah, please.
Sir, with regard to society's elections, still the provisions relating to selection of women candidates, other
Okay.
castes, SCs,
What are the
still
reservations?
continues or still, or it is, now deleted, or still it's continuing? Because women candidates, even if you select in societies, there's hardly, it's very difficult for them. We don't
Correct.
find good candidates.
Correct.
So still it is a compulsion to select them, or it is done away, same way as for the SC, STs and other OBCs and all that.
Okay.
That I want to know.
Fine.
In a society of 12 members, how many committee members and office bearers would be?
Committee of? Society of?
12 members.
12 members. Okay.
Housing society of 12 members.
Okay.
How many committee members and office bearer? Office
Okay.
bearer is 3, but how many committee members?
Okay. A small society, what is the number of committee members required? Yeah. So I'll just answer 1 or 2 questions. One is about, lot of confusion about the reservation. Now let me tell you, there are 5 seats reserved. Those seats, if they are coming, fine. It is not like a bus seat where, it is reserved for ladies but gents sit and ladies look at it. So it is not like that. So these 5 seats which are reserved will be reserved for them. If the candidates come, well and good, election will take place. If there is no candidates, then it will be kept vacant. Now, which are these 5 seats which are reserved? Whether it is 12-member society, whether it is 100-member society, 1,000-member society, whatever is the size of the society, these 5 seats are reserved. Now, 2 seats, irrespective of the size of the societies, is reserved for ladies. Now, whether ladies come or they don't come, if they come and if it is more than 2 candidates in ladies, there will be election. If there are 2 candidates, then there will be, unopposed. If there is 1 candidate who is coming, it will be unopposed. But if nobody is there, that vacant seat will be there as and when any ladies find it suitable that she wants to occupy that seat, she can make an application and then the election can take place, or unopposed, she can be, co-opted at that particular time. Now this is about 2 ladies seats. Now there are 3 other reserved seats, and again, if those candidates are not there, you are not to worry about it. But that is in the rule book, that is in the bylaws which is given. That is, one is scheduled caste, scheduled tribe. So irrespective of the size of the society, you will have 1 scheduled caste, scheduled tribe. So if it is there, somebody wants to contest, fine. Second is backward OBC, other backward class. Second is other backward class. So whoever is notified to be other backward class by the government of Maharashtra, and if they have that particular certificate and they are able to give that proof, then the way SC/ST is there, other backward class also has one seat and that has to be filled by other backward class only, who is notified to be other backward class and who has that certificate. And again unopposed, fine. If it is vacant, it will be vacant. Third, which is again reserved categories, nomadic tribes, Vimukta Jati and special backward class. This again is notified, a category. The way Jains have been also notified to be minority, community.
So can Jain be included in that?
So Jain is not a special backward. So you'll have to make an application. So coming to the point, these three categories, if there are. Now one thing is that if there is any nuisance creator and he is supposed to be SC/ST and then he will, if there is only one candidate, he may become a permanent sitting member of that committee. But there is a provision made in the constitution which has percolated to the state government law and it's a law of the land and it is also come in the bylaws. So therefore, if it is not there, fine. Now coming back to the general category. Yes, you want to share something? You want to share something? Yeah, take the mic and share. We would like to hear from you. Yeah, give him the mic. Don't discuss among you. We would like to hear from each one of you.
Out of 5 seats, 3 seats are for scheduled class.
No. Out of 3, 1 is for scheduled caste, scheduled tribe. That is one. Second one is for other backward class, OBC. And third one is for nomadic tribe, Vimukti Jati or special backward class.
Thank you.
Any one of, okay, 3, they will get 1 seat. Scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, 1 seat. Now, there are a lot of questions raised by many of the societies who come to our association and say, sir, nobody discloses that he is scheduled caste, scheduled tribe. Then that is his job, his problem. If he is disclosing and he wants to be a part of it and he gives that certificate, yes. Otherwise, no. So, the third question which normally asked is, it is unnecessarily being divided and casteism is brought in the societies. No, that is a part of the constitution and it is already there. So divide and rule, or this is actually, it should have been economical backward, which economically backward was earlier there as one of the criteria. But who will prove who is economically backward? Hello. Who is staying in a society or a member of the society? Therefore, right now it is based on these certificates given. Okay.
Can I interrupt you? So can you just put a picture with minimum number and the maximum number? There are 2 categories. One is having candidate there and no candidate. You said in a minimum of 5 numbers. If you take the size of the society as a 12 number and the maximum.
Yeah, I like that.
What will be the composition of it? Where the candidates are available or candidates are not available? In a case of 12, if 5 are reserved, you are saying 5 is the minimum. Out of 12, 5 goes, then no reservation or no candidates are available. Then on the remaining 7, out of the remaining 3, the 3 will be office bearers. So that means in a group of 12, 5 are not contesting, 5 reserved seats are there and 3 are there only and plus another 2. And when the resolution is taken, there is a resolution, how will be the voting? There will not be any consensus on that. Whether it will be 2 plus 3 or 3 plus 3. There should be even number or odd number.
Okay, I will come to that.
So can you just show me a picture of composition of both minimum and the maximum, having quota fully filled or no filled?
Yeah, I am now reserved seats, 5 seats I have completed. Irrespective of the size of the societies, there are 5. If it's vacant, it will be vacant. Otherwise, whenever they want to fill up that particular constituency, that is called reserved constituency, they can come and contest and get elected. Now coming to the other than reserved, that is called open category. Now up to 100 members, there has to be 6 people. Now question comes to me that, sir, I have got only 6 members in a housing society and 6 flats, 6 members, and how come, what will be my committee and what will be my things? In that case, all 6 members will become a committee member and there are no scheduled caste, scheduled tribe or the reserved category, fine. And ladies can always contest for the open category, there is no part. So therefore, minimum up to 100 members, open candidature is 6. And suppose a 12-member society, as you rightly said, 6 is your general, and then 5 is reserved for the, so there will be 11, fine. Now 5 normally 2 ladies may come, 3 may not be there, or if it is there of that particular community, they will come. So like this 12-member society, there can be 11 members committee. Now the question arises, what is the quorum? That is the next question somebody asked me. Now the bylaw says the quorum will be the number of committee members whom you have selected or elected, and in that simple majority will form the quorum. Now for example, we have 1 ladies, 5 ordinary category, that is general, so there are 6. So what is the simple majority? Naturally 4. So the 4 will form a quorum. Are you with me? Yes. So therefore, second, if it is 101, committee, your society members are 101, up to 200, then general category will be 8. General category 8, and what about reserve? 5. 8 plus 5, 13. So now question arises, nobody is there in the reserve category, we have only 8, it becomes an even number. Fine, what to do? So in that case, that 8 members, the quorum will be 5. Simple majority, that will be 5. Are you with me? Yes. So that's it. So then 201 onwards up to 301, it is again increased by 2, that is 10 members in the open category, and reserved again 5, that becomes 15. Then 301 up to 500, now there is a jump of 200 members, 301 to 500, it is 12 members open category, again increased by 2, and reserved is 5, that is 70, and 501 onwards, it is 14, again increased by 2 in open category, and 500 onwards, any number of members, 14 is the open category, and 5 is reserved, that means 90. In addition to this, in Parliament or in the Legislative Council, Rajya Sabha, we have something called one who is not getting elected or one who has not contested, like CA Suresh Prabhu has been nominated. Why? Because the government has thought it fit that we need to have certain experts in certain area. In such cases, the societies also can have 2 expert directors. Now, who can be expert director? Is it that he should be a member of the society? The answer is no. You can appoint in your society, if you think Ramesh Prabhu is a fit person who should be invited there as an expert director, like you have an independent director in this. So you can always invite him, and 2 people, anybody who is expert in the corporate sector or in the expert in the business of the society in which you want him to serve, then you can co-opt 2 people as expert director. Even in a housing society of 100 members, you can have 2 expert directors. Now whether he should be paid, that's up to the society, and all depends on the person who is going to be there in this one. Now the question arises, whether he can be office bearer? The answer is no. The expert director does not have any right to be an office bearer. Secondly, can he vote in any of the election of the office bearers? No. The answer is no. Can he vote in any of the decision making? Yes. Where his expert knowledge is required? Or the answer is yes. He can vote.
Only give an opinion.
He can vote in the decision making other than election. Other than the election of the office bearers, in any of the decision making, he can vote. So he cannot vote for electing the chairman. He cannot vote for office bearers of treasurer or anybody, and he cannot contest the office bearers. But not only that, he can give the opinion. If the decision has to be taken by what we call voting, in that case, any of the decision working of the society, otherwise there is no meaning in making an expert. If an opinion has to be taken, that can be taken by anybody else also. So therefore, that person becomes the director, except voting in the election of office bearers or becoming office bearer, he can do all other duties. Okay. There can be also up to 17 members board of directors. There can be one functional director. Who is this functional director? Now why this is being done? Because the Constitution of India wants that every society, every cooperative society should be professionally managed. When we say that it has to be professionally managed, that means there has to be professionalism. How it can be brought? It can be brought by through the legislation. And therefore, the legislation has said that there can be one functional director. Who is this functional director? The functional director is none other than the CEO of the society, or in a housing society you can have a manager who will be a functional director, so that he will participate in the directors board of meeting or managing committee meeting, and then you can delegate the powers and all the issues he will come to know, and therefore there will be a functional director. This is in addition to the elected. Now the question arises, how the election takes place. Now Ashish Shelar was, there was some error in counting the numbers. We chartered accountants are good in numbers. So number is like this. The entire society, all type of society is divided into 4 types. That he has said rightly, A, B, C, D. Now, since we are more concerned with the housing society, let me just tell you, it is not 20 which he said, it is 200. Earlier in the draft rule it was 100, and later on it has been increased to 200. So if there is 200 members, that means up to 199 members, it is considered to be D category. Yes. Last category of the society. Okay. And this last category of society, the election can happen only in the general body, if you want. And another option is given, that if you think that it should be done through the secret ballot, then the option is given to the society, saying that they can pass a resolution in the general body meeting, submit that resolution to the election officer to have the election through the secret ballot paper, and also by conducting the 35 days election program. Now, the society which are 200 and above members, the compulsory election will be done by the ballot paper. There will be compulsory election program of 35 days. Just to give you overview, that there will be provisional list of voters, which will be kept open for 3 days or 5 days for raising the objection. Then there will be, final list of voters, then inviting the candidates to file their nomination. Then there is a scrutiny of the nomination. Then there will be, after the scrutiny, there will be declaring the valid candidates. Then 15 days time is given for withdrawal of the nomination. And if somebody is rejected, they can go and in the appeal to the deputy registrar or the assistant registrar, get his name included in the final list of voters, candidates. So this way 15 days time is given from the valid candidates till the final list of candidates. Because 15 days is given so that if his candidature is rejected, he can go to the deputy registrar and get the appeal bed. And then after that, another 5 days is given for what is known as canvassing, and then the election takes place. So if you look at the number of days, it is 35 days election program which is done. Who does this? This is done by the election officer appointed by State Cooperative Election Authority. Now the question arises, as he has rightly asked me, whether the government has that mechanism. The answer is, they have made it possible. How they have made it possible? And this has started already. From 1st October 2014, after the elections are over, it has started happening. Now how they have made it happen? What they did is, the election authority is a retired IAS officer. He has been given a secretary and 8 to 10 officers sitting in the head office. Now, every deputy registrar and assistant of their ward is designated as taluka level election officer. That means the registrar who is managing your society is also an election officer appointed by the election authority. District level societies, district registrar is the election officer. Then of course other assistants are given to him. Now the question arises, how this 36,000 or 60,000 society or 90,000 housing society can happen? So at the taluka level deputy registrar or assistant registrar, they have been given a power. You are comfortable with the English? Or you want me to speak in Hindi? Comfortable in English? Okay. So let us come to the taluka level officer. They have been given a power to prepare the panel of election officers to conduct the election. Who can be in the panel? The retired officers of the department or any person who has worked in the cooperative sector, who is retired from different type of cooperative societies. Then auditors, certified auditor, chartered accountants, advocates, and who wants to work as an election officer. He has to give an application to the ward registrar. That ward registrar will send it to the election authority by email, by the covering letter, and then he approves it, those panel. Once that panel is approved by the election authority, so they become the list of panel election officers. Now, societies apply to the deputy registrar. When they have to apply? They have to apply 6 months prior to the due date for conducting the election. That is 6 months before the expiry of the term, that existing office bearers or the committee have to give an application to the deputy registrar of your ward saying that our election is due in the month of June 2015, and they have to also give the list of voters, provisional list of voters. That is in a particular format that is called E2 form. Election rules form number 2, E2. So in that E2 form, you have to give I-form register number. I-form means register of members. So every member name is supposed to be recorded in the I-form register. Register kept in a specific format which is specified in the rules. So what is the serial number in the I-form? What are the share numbers? And then who is the member or the associate member who is owner of the flag, who is joint owner of the flag, and then of course since when he is a member. So this information you have to give, and the office bearers have to certify that this information is true and correct and it has been taken from the records of the society. And then it is submitted to the election officer, that is deputy registrar of your ward. Then what happens? Then that election officer from the panel of that election officer of that deputy registrar, from the panel of election officers, he will check up whom to assign this society. He assigns him, and assigning, he takes the concurrence of that election officer. Then he sends his recommendation to the election authority at Pune by email, and that election officer gets the information on weekly basis from all the deputy registrars, nearly 350 deputy registrars in entire Maharashtra. So he gets information from all the deputy registrars of entire Maharashtra, and weekly basis he comes a notification that this society election will be done by so and so. This election will be done by so and so. Then once that is notified by the election authority, that all happens through the email and internet. All this is put on the internet. Maharashtra.gov.in. You will find this, and Sahkar Ayukt also you will find this, sahkarayukta.maharashtra.gov.in, this website. So it is put on that website, and then this deputy registrar comes to know that this has been now approved by the election authority. Unless until election officer authority approves the election officer in the panel recommended by the deputy registrar, that person cannot stop the election process. Once he gets that GR or the circular uploaded on the government website, thereafter the deputy registrar issues a letter to that election officer saying that now you are being appointed, now you conduct the election. Now if it is less than 200 members, of course he will meet the chairman secretary of the society, and then he says next 15 days notice has to be given for the purpose of conducting the election. So he will design the agenda. Agenda format is also given in that election notification. Circulars have been issued. So there is one point agenda to elect the committee members, and the following category, that is open category 6 if it is less than 100, then 5, and this election will be for a period of 5 years from this date to this date. So this will be notified, and 15 days minimum notice is given. It can be more than 15 days, but minimum 15 days clear notice is given. Special general body will happen, all the people will come, then and then election officer will call for the nomination. If it is less than 200 members, that is D category, call for the nomination, he will scrutinize then and there, then he will publish the list, and then the election was to happen either by raise of hand or by voice vote or by any other mechanism that the election officer decides. So that is where I played a big role. If you have read the Times of India, even before this type of things could happen, I met election officer, that is the election authority, Madhukar Chaudhary. I told him, if at all you want to have free and fair election, if your mandate is to have a free and fair election, then it has to be free and fair and without any favor and favorism and without any influence. So it has to be secret ballot. Then his question was, how you ensure secret ballot, how it is possible, all this. Then I said, don't be an election officer, then don't come to the election commission, then don't bring all this democratic setup and don't make it a mimicry or a separate set of ball game. You have to have, but he was not able to, understand. Then, of course, as you understand, the media take a role. So the media was informed, Times of India took it. And then, my criteria was, if you want to have a free and fair election, it has to be ballot paper. It has to be secret. Maybe the procedure we will understand, but it has to be. So thereafter, he called all the DDR and he gave a strict warning on 29th November 2014 that election to every society, even if it has to be held in the general body, it has to be through the secret ballot only, provided the question which has come, nobody comes forward. If there is no candidates and nobody comes forward, and if there is a candidate unopposed, then unopposed will be elected, and there need not be a what is known as secret ballot. But if there are 6 candidates required, there are 7 applications, then naturally I will give tips for ladies. So if these cases, they should contest under the both the category, open and so unopposed you will get elected then. So if you want, or if there are 3, Modi, what the way Modi did. So you can give your candidature in 3 category also. So if you are scheduled caste and women, you put in scheduled caste, you put in women, you put in general also. So that is possible. I am just theoretically telling you. So but otherwise, so if there are 7 candidates for the 6 posts, the election has to happen in secret ballot only. Now the question arises about other things. So this is a good change which has happened. So now secret ballot will happen. The reason that was given to by me is that if there is an existing committee and they want to be there, and if raise of hand has to be done, and he comes to know that this particular people or these people have not voted him and he gets elected, then there will be revenge taken later on. If he comes for transfer of flat, if he comes for some other issues, even NOC for getting a passport. So this way there can be issues. So there has to be secret and it can be free and fair. Sometimes people don't come forward also. If there is a secret ballot, yes, people won't mind coming forward. So this way now it is ensured, and I request each one of you that in your society, if this type of things are happening, open or anything is happening, please resist it and give a letter to the deputy registrar. It has to be through the secret ballot only. 29 November 2014, there is a circular in the government website, you can just see that. So it has to be secret ballot if there is more candidates. Now the question arises that people don't come forward. Now if you are running your family and you are running your business, just to give you, this cooperative housing society, is a business enterprise. It is not a charitable organization. Who are the members? Look at the cooperative housing society, just to take you to a grassroots level. This cooperative society, let us say you have 25 members. Who are those members? They are the owners of that society. Are you getting my point? You are the members. These 25 people are having a share capital in that society. You are having a share in the property in the form of house in that building, and you are a part owner, share in the share capital of a company. So here you are a share in the shareholding of a society. So that is, you are the owner. It is your business. It is your business. Why it is your business? Because these 25 people are expecting service from that society, which is the 26th unit, a legal entity. You are expecting service. Are you expecting service or not? What would be the service? Supplying what is your service? Your electricity for the staircase, lift and common compound, cleanliness in your compound, the building repairs, security is your concern. This is yours. You need these 25 people need service. You are a joint family of 25 people, and it is your business to provide service to these 25 people. And these 25 people who are the members are getting the service. Who is the provider of service? These 25 people. This is where we are losing our concentration. So this is the business enterprise where 25 people have come together to get a common service rendered by this elected body. And therefore, if you say that nobody wants to come forward, fine, then get the society dissolved. Then let there not be water, let there not be electricity, let there not be lift, let there not be repairs, let the building get collapsed, let your house get destroyed. I get annoyed because it is your own society, it is your own family, and we say that we are not able to come forward. I want to motivate. See, let us understand why this democratic setup has been set. It is one of the principles of cooperative. What is that principles? That is democratic setup. When you say setup means it has to be duly elected. The way municipality is running the show for the entire city, and you have got elected corporators, and the service is given for the entire city through the water supply, traffic, or taking care of various services of drainage and securities. Same way, your society is giving service to your own people. So therefore, it has to be regulated by you. You cannot say that within my family 8 people are there and we cannot take care of 8 people. Government should take care. No, it won't happen. But given a situation, let us understand. Therefore, it is an autonomous body. The constitution says, and the law also says, it's an autonomous body. It has to be automatically, you have to manage. No political interference can take place. These societies have to be governed by the law, but no interference of the registrar, no interference of the what is called as political. So it has to be managed by your own. Therefore, it is your own setup. You have to have a democratic setup. To have a democratic setup, there has to be free and fair election, and free and fair election can take place because you can also serve. You can also come forward. We think that it's a thankless service. If you are thinking that providing, income by which family can take place where your father, mother, sisters, brothers, and your 5 children are there, and you think that you are doing a thankless job, it is not so. So it is a family of 25 houses, and it has to be governed by yourself, and therefore it is a democratic setup, and therefore this particular election authority has been done. But unfortunately, the constitution wanted that it has to be separate setup, but it has not become a separate setup. Why? Because the regulator, that is a registrar, he is not supposed to be the election officer. He is not supposed to conduct the election. But here, because they don't have the proper manpower, now they have given the delegation. Now coming to your question, that nobody comes forward, fine. In that case, the deputy registrar, if he comes to know that even one person is coming forward, 2 persons is coming forward, he can constitute, authorize that person for the period of next 6 months to manage the show as an authorized officer, or 3 people, active members of the society, can be taken as the administrative board for a period of 6 months, and within 6 months the election has to happen. So this way the registrar can happen, but it can't happen for a long. And if this happens for over and over again, authorized officer is appointed 2, 3, 4 times, you will understand what will be the level of service. You will also understand what will be, so there will be some activists who will come forward and who would serve other people, and the election definitely takes place. So coming back to our question of election, henceforward, you will be surprised to know, election to the office bearer, who has to do it? No, it will be done by the committee, but in the presence of election officer. In a society, 6 members, 1 chairman has resigned. Chairman has resigned. Then new chairman has to be elected. You have to inform to the deputy registrar. Deputy registrar will appoint an election authority officer. His name will be approved by the election authority at Pune. Then GR will be issued. Then the office bearer. The reason is that there has to be free and fair election. Practically it may be little difficult. See, everything is difficult before it is easy. So once the system comes in place, I think it will be fine. Yeah, you had some question.
Sir, this is applicable for election.
Okay, now his question I will answer. This is applicable for the societies whose term has ended on or after 14th February 2013, but whose election has happened before 14th February 2013, whose election has happened before 14th February 2013, and their term is there next 5 years. Then on the expiry of this term, the new election will take place. Till such time, the old committee will continue.
Sir, if committee member resign, suppose
No,
appointing
no,
committee
yeah.
member.
Now, casual vacancies.
Just before you go.
Yeah, just 1 minute. Let me answer. Casual vacancy. How the casual vacancy will be filled? What is your answer? So far, the casual vacancy is filled by the committees. Now, if there is a casual vacancy in the parliament or assembly seat, how it is filled? By election. So, right now, there is no clarity on this, and the bylaws which has been approved by the commissioner, it says, in the case of casual vacancy, such casual vacancies will be filled whether the entire term of the committee is expired or whatever it is, or is still to be there, but casual vacancy arises after 14th February 2013. The casual vacancy will be filled in the directions, as per the direction given by the election authority. Now, right now, that election authority has not issued any circular to that effect.
Who approves the resignation
So,
of a member? Who approves the resignation of an ordinary committee member?
Huh?
Who approves the resignation of an ordinary committee member? Suppose some committee member resigns.
Huh.
Does it go to the deputy registrar and
No. Huh. Suppose somebody wants to resign. You have to give a resignation to the chairman. Okay, in the committee. Or you can give it to the secretary. You mean you have to give it to the society?
Office bearer.
Okay, office bearer. Secretary is the right person. Yes, I agree with you. So, once the resignation is given, if it is accepted, that is fine. The committee meeting will take place, acceptance will happen. Now, election vacancy is created, that vacancy will be filled as and when, if it is a general category, then the election by poll will take place as and when it is required. If it is not accepted, after the expiry of 30 days, it is deemed to have been accepted. So, you cannot compel somebody to be on the post. You cannot compel. Once you have resigned, next 30 days, he will continue. Suppose the entire committee has resigned. Possible. Correct? Something has happened. Allegation is on the entire committee. Now what happens? In such cases, you will approach the deputy registrar, he will appoint the election authority. He can exercise 2 ways. One, the way, you know, Maharashtra government, when Prithviraj Chavan resigned because of withdrawal of support from NCP, what governor said, you continue. So the deputy registrar, like a governor, he can say, till election is held, please continue in the office as a caretaker, but don't do any other policy decisions. You will be only doing day-to-day work. This is possible. But if that society committee is not ready to do that also, then the way, precedent rule was applied, same way here also, the authorized officer, the registrar will take control of the society till the election is done for 2-3 months, and he will appoint an authorized officer. Administrative word is removed now, so he will appoint an authorized officer, and in such cases, the authorized officer will continue till authorized officer can be one person from the registrar's office or from active member of the society, or he can appoint 3 people active member of the society. Now the question of active member you will ask me. You had a question, yeah.
Suppose you
Just give me a mic, yeah. You please ask the question because I don't want to go with the slide. I can always go with the slide, but
Here.
I think question answer is better, isn't it? Yeah.
in general election, 5 people do not come up and you intimate the election officer. But thereafter, after 4 or 6 months, the deadlock is trying to resolve and 5 people come forward. Can you appoint them and call another meeting, or you cannot?
So that means when the election authority comes, officer comes to you.
No. In general meeting, 5 people do not come forward the election.
Correct.
Right? So now there is a deadlock. So you have to intimate the election officer. So we did the intimation. But now after 5 or 6 months, you realize that there is no point in continuing. So 5 people come forward to take place.
So that's what I'm saying. Now, suppose nobody has come forward, the registrar will appoint the people who have come forward, 1, 2, 3, as the temporary committee for a period of 6 months as administrative board or as a authorized officer for a period of 1-2 months. If nobody comes forward, election office, that deputy registrar will appoint his own officer as an authorized officer. Now after 3-4 months, you realize now you want to be a part of the committee. Then it is a duty of that person whom appointed as an authorized officer or the administrative board to conduct the election within next 6 months. So every 6 months, an attempt will be made to get the election done.
No, my problem.
See, you are saying authorized officer is appointed, now you have 5 people come.
Authorized person is also not appointed. Just intimation is given to election officer, this deputy registrar, that nobody has come forward to take this committee.
Correct.
So we want to hold the election.
Correct.
That's it.
So then election officer has to be appointed. Till such time you will continue.
Okay.
The old committee will continue. Till the election officer is properly appointed, it's the duty of the old committee to continue in the office.
And what happens in case of the first committee?
In the case of first committee, in your case or any case, they are going to have the office till 1 year. Once the society, the first managing committee takes place, from that day 1 year, provisional managing committee. And it is their duty to hold the election within a period of 1 year before the expiry of the term. Now they have not done it, which means they will continue to be there. But if you complain, listen to me very carefully, you have a lot of chance to dissolve the committees and disqualify the committees to contest further for 1 term. If they fail to intimate to the election authorities prior to 6 months of the expiry of the term and no action has been taken to conduct the election, they have violated the vital principle of, or violated the provisions of the law, and therefore a penal action against them will be taken and they will be disqualified, the entire committee will be disqualified from contesting the election for next 5 years.
But on
1 term.
responsibility is to inform
Wait.
secretary or
I'll just answer his question. I'll come to you.
Yeah.
So what it means is that if you have failed to inform to the deputy registrar 6 months prior to the expiry of the term, you have failed to discharge your duty as a committee to have free and fair election, and therefore under section 146 of the MCS Act, it is considered to be an offence. Okay, and therefore under 147 of the MCS Act, through the officer or to the deputy registrar, they can be disqualified for the next 1 term. Now, question is, up to 1st of 2014, nobody knew how the election is going to happen. Okay, now this provisional term is over, but still they will continue till the proper election is done. If they are not informed, go to the deputy registrar, complain against them, and see that those people will not be able to get a chance to contest again. I have answered your question? No, I'll answer later. Yeah.
Yeah, no, who has to inform? Who is the
Because if you are not able to, I think you have understood. Because sometimes what happens, I'll tell you, psychologically, I am not a psychiatrist, but psychologically when you are, brooding around one particular issue, you don't want to come out of that circle when the entire universe has the solution. But we always, we always go with the round and round and round. And not that I'm telling you, but in general, I have seen the people who come, they are always, ऐसा हुआ तो क्या होगा, ऐसा हुआ तो ऐसा होगा, ये होगा तो होगा. But he doesn't want to come out. So anyhow, yeah.
Mr. Prabhu, here.
Yeah.
Sir.
1 minute.
You have given a good overview of the new election. I think those are many people will have all hypothetical cases, and time may not be sufficient.
Okay.
I think let us touch upon this redevelopment issue. More people are interested.
One question.
Second, I may not be the right person to reply. Let this discussion be in all the three languages. Let the discussion be. Let the discussion on redevelopment be in all three languages, because you may be talking, people may be understanding, but when the questions are asked, let them be free to ask the question in their own languages. Okay?
I can speak in Marathi, English, Hindi.
Let's have possibility in culture.
Yeah.
But just one question.
Participation is more important.
Yeah.
Sir, defaulted list.
हाँ.
Valid list you were telling again and again.
Okay. देखिए, नया कायदा में ऐसा प्रावधान किया है कि इकोनॉमिक पार्टिसिपेशन, जो आशीष शेलार जी बता रहे थे कि आज के कोऑपरेटिव एक्ट के हिसाब से जो आदमी एक्टिव मेंबर नहीं है उसे मतदान करने का भी अधिकार नहीं है, ना वो कोई कमेटी का पोस्ट ले सकता है. सो इसका मतलब क्रियाशील सभासद, एक्टिव मेंबर मतलब कौन है, इसका परिभाषा क्या है? इसका परिभाषा कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी के एक्ट के हिसाब से, रादर बायलॉज के हिसाब से इन्होंने ये बताया. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में क्या बताया वो बताता हूं. इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ये बताया गया, a person will be treated as active member if he attends or he participates in the working of the society as may be prescribed in the state law and obtains minimum level of service. Now what it means, संविधान ने ये बताया कि यदि आप कम से कम जो स्टेट लेजिस्लेशन बताती है उतना वर्किंग ऑफ सोसाइटी में पार्टिसिपेट होना चाहिए. वर्किंग ऑफ सोसाइटी मतलब जनरल बॉडी नॉर्मली, बिकॉज आम आदमी किधर आता है जनरल बॉडी में, कम से कम मीटिंग उसने अटेंड करना चाहिए, ऐसे ही प्रावधान है. दूसरा, उसने कम से कम सर्विस लेना चाहिए. अभी कम से कम सर्विस कौन सा है हाउसिंग सोसाइटी में, तो नेचुरली पेमेंट ऑफ मेंटेनेंस चार्जेस. तो इसके लिए स्टेट लॉ में ये बताया गया एज मे बी प्रिस्क्राइब्ड इन द बायलॉज. अभी बायलॉज में ये बताया गया, लेट अस कम टू द एक्टिव मेंबर इन द फर्स्ट, all three conditions should be fulfilled to be active member. One, उनका खुद का नाम से फ्लैट होना चाहिए. जो आदमी के नाम से फ्लैट नहीं है तो आदमी मेंबर बन ही नहीं सकता है. ऑफ कोर्स नॉमिनल मेंबर बन सकता है जिसको कोई मतदान का अधिकार नहीं है. यदि एसोसिएट मेंबर बनना है तो बायलॉ में ऐसा प्रावधान किया, वो जॉइंट ओनर होना चाहिए. इफ इज नॉट ए जॉइंट ओनर, अर्लियर क्या होता था, कोई भी आदमी 100 रुपए भर के एसोसिएट मेंबर बनते थे. अभी परिभाषा बायलॉज में ये बताया है कि who can be associate member? Associate member who owns the share in the property. So therefore jointly or individually. So therefore to become an active member or to become an associate member, one, you should be owning a property. दूसरा, he should be attending at least one general body meeting in the 5 years. अभी one general body मतलब it could be a special general body meeting, it could be annual general body meeting. उसमें ये भी प्रावधान किया. And let me tell you, this is the only state in the entire country which I have analyzed कि जनरल बॉडी में आने का इतना छूट दिया है। आशीष चल्ला जी बता रहे थे कि वो छूट नहीं है, उन्होंने ऐसा छूट दिया यदि जनरल बॉडी उनका एब्सेंस, लीव ऑफ एब्सेंस ग्रांट करती है, कंडोन करती है, तो ही कैन कंटिन्यू टू बी द एक्टिव मेंबर। मतलब 5 साल में एक बार भी नहीं आ सकता है, कम से कम उसके पास इतना कर्टिसी होना चाहिए, जनरल बॉडी को एक अर्जी देना चाहिए या सेक्रेटरी को अर्जी देना चाहिए, बिकॉज ऑफ दिस रीजन आई एम नॉट एबल टू कम एंड देयरफॉर माय एब्सेंस में बी ग्रांटेड, लीव ऑफ एब्सेंस में बी ग्रांटेड। यदि कंडोन किया जाता है, सो इवन इफ ही डज नॉट अटेंड इवन अ सिंगल मीटिंग आउट ऑफ 5 years, स्टिल ही कैन कंटिन्यू विद द एक्टिव मेंबर। तीसरा कंडीशन दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, हमारा बायलॉज जिन्होंने भी बनाया बहुत सारा मिस्टेक हुआ है, उसमें ये एक मिस्टेक है, एक जगह में उन्होंने एक्टिव मेंबर बताया कि ए पर्सन हु पेज द मेंटेनेंस रेगुलरली। नो, रेगुलरली का परिभाषा क्या है? रेगुलरली का परिभाषा क्या है? दूसरा जगह में इन्होंने यही बताया, उसके जगह में वन मेंबर हु पेज मेंटेनेंस वंस इन 5 years। उसी बायलॉज में दूसरा जगह में लिखा है ए पर्सन कैन बी ए एक्टिव मेंबर if he pays once in 5 years। मैंने रजिस्ट्रार को पूछा, सर ₹1 मैं देता हूँ 5 साल में एक बार, तो भी मैं एक्टिव मेंबर कंटिन्यू होगा, आर यू ट्राइंग टू से दैट? बोले नहीं, आपको समझना चाहिए। मतलब मुझे क्या समझना चाहिए? हम ये बताना चाहते हैं कि 5 साल में कम से कम 1 साल का मेंटेनेंस उन्हें देना चाहिए, मतलब ऐसा परिभाषा नहीं है। सो देयरफॉर आई हैव सजेस्टेड दैट इट शुड बी रेगुलर and should not be a defaulter. When I say when he is not a defaulter, who is a defaulter? Defaulter also has been defined under section 73CA of the Act. उसमें ये बताया गया, a person is treated as a defaulter when he does not pay the maintenance for a continuous period of 3 months, even after giving the written notice. मान लो मैं गया 4 साल से मेंटेनेंस नहीं भरा, हर महीने में मुझे बिल आ रहा है, मैं भरा नहीं, मुझे कोई नोटिस नहीं गया, सो आई एम नॉट ए डिफॉल्टर। बट जिस दिन मैं नोटिस देता हूं, यू हैव नॉट पेड द मेंटेनेंस फॉर द लास्ट सो मेनी डेज और सो मेनी मंथ्स, एंड सिंस देन इफ आई डोंट पे फॉर द नेक्स्ट 3 months, then I am treated as a defaulter, and that notice of serving the notice should be in writing. It should be either by hand delivery or by certificate, sorry, not certificate of posting, is not registered posting. Or
What about we paid or part of the amount we will do?
huh?
Suppose out of 9 months maintenance, if I pay 1 month maintenance, payment is a.
No, I fully agree with you. Now this is a matter of debate. Okay, in such cases the registrar will take a call on that. But right now, because if there is a difference in the classification of active and non-active member, which has to be done within 30 days of the close of court year, and then if you are aggrieved that you are classified as a non-active member, you will lose everything. Within 30 days you have to go to the deputy registrar. Deputy registrar will give the order by taking all this one. So these are the issues. So redevelopment. So anything related to election?
Yeah, just one question I wanted to ask.
20% reservation, just please.
कौन सा? हाँ, मैं redevelopment है, वो मैं आता हूँ।
Sir, you.
हाँ, इलेक्शन ऑफिसर का पेमेंट कितना है? जहाँ जनरल बॉडी में इलेक्शन होती है, तो उसको 750 रुपया ऑनरियम मिलेगा, और वो भी कैसा मिलेगा? Of course by account पे check, and he can spend about 4,500 rupees on account of various expenses if he has to, बायलेट बनाना, ये करना, वो करना, लेकिन वो खर्चा उसको गवर्नमेंट में जमा करना होगा, और गवर्नमेंट को ये इलेक्शन ऑफिसर को बिल देना होगा, and that election officer will refund him. So that's a lengthy process. So anyhow, so 750 जहाँ बायलेट से इलेक्शन होती है, बायलेट से 15 दिन का नोटिस में जनरल बॉडी नहीं, जहाँ 35 दिन का प्रोग्राम होता है, there election officer get an honorarium of 1,500 rupees. 35 days का काम करने के बाद आपको 1,500 रुपए मिलता है. Okay. And third, कई बार सवाल आता है कि सी कैटेगरी, डी कैटेगरी वाले 12 मेंबर का सोसाइटी है, लेकिन हमें 35 दिन का कार्यक्रम चाहिए. Can we have it? The answer is yes. You have to pass a resolution in your general body and then inform to the deputy registrar then you will see that 35 days election program is done. I think I am done with the election.
So just one question I wanted to ask.
I will have later on.
No, so just one last question I am trying to ask is for past a long time.
Yeah, please.
So you said that the committee's responsibility to inform 6 months prior to the expiry of the term. So whose the responsibility is this, to secretary to inform, or the entire committee, or who will be treated as defaulter?
See, entire committee will be treated as defaulter because it's the duty of the secretary. Secretary is heading like for the entire committee. And if the secretary does not perform his duty, it is the chairman's duty. And if the chairman does not perform his duty, the entire committee's responsibility comes. So therefore, the entire committee will be held responsible.
Thank you, sir.
Fine.
Election of office bearers.
Election of office bearers. Normally after the 11 people or 10 people, whoever gets elected, normally that election officer will have the meeting then and there. Because he comes there in the general body, 11 आदमी का नियुक्ति हो गया, उधर का उधर बैठेगा, फिर चेयरमैन सेक्रेटरी नियुक्ति करके वो चला जाएगा. और in between होता है, then you have to inform the election officer, he will come in your committee meeting and it will take place. Fine? So election will
associate member in old times, So
Old
they are
times?
now inactive.
absolutely. They are not. Active member, yeah, I'll go to the next. Now redevelopment. Yeah. Associate member का परिभाषा definition has been changed in the bylaws. It says a person who is holding the share in the property can only be an associate member. हाँ. Joint name में चाहिए तभी वो associate member हो
So
सकता है.
election will be even in the AGM, it will be through ballot paper or something.
Yeah. If there is more candidates than required, the election in the general body will be through secret ballot only.
Associate member can be committee member.
Now, right now it is said.
No, but you said that they're joint holding. So what is the difference between associate and joint member?
See, her question is, what is the difference between joint member and associate member? Joint member का परिभाषा is not given in the act. In the MCS Act, there is nothing called joint member. In the MCS member Act, it says associate member. Who is associate member as per the Act? One who holds the shares jointly with the first person. That is associate member. Now, in the bylaws, it says, in a housing society, who can be associate member? One who is holding the flat jointly. Are you getting